everyone. I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes to join in. I know, like the last session, after the last session, I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes, and then we'll start probably around 2:01, 2:02. And then from there, we're going to be talking about, let me share my screen. We're going to be talking about basically how to build a resume. There's a few like quick sites that I want to show off. Nothing like too long, just basically showing off some sites that can help you build your own resume, tools that can help you out with that, and just overall some good helpful advice for building a resume. All right, I think this is going to be a quick session anyways. It's not going to be as long as some of the other sessions, but I think we can go ahead and get started with this session. Basically, we're just going to be talking about some cool websites that we can have. That a lot of these sort of like alumni panel web tip sessions are going to be sort of quicker than the other ones. It's not going to be like the full hour long or anything. It's going to be sort of quick pieces of advice, quick like websites that are cool, or just talking with some like alumni that I know, or alumni that come from other universities. So to give you guys a general idea about some interesting things that are going on at the colleges, interesting things that you can do, and some neat websites you can look at. So here, one of the whole like session today is going to be basically based on how do we build a resume? What are some helpful places that you guys can go to build a resume a lot faster and a lot easier than it would be to just go on a Word document and try like building out the format on your own. So one of the first websites that I would like recommend is this website called RX Resume, and it's basically it's a completely free tool. All these are going to be completely free tools, and there's no ads, there's no like tracking or anything, and a really great tool for building a resume. And I'll show you guys some like features of it, some stuff about it, but like it has a bunch of different templates, a bunch of fonts, a bunch of different things you can do to make a resume and make a really good looking resume quickly. So let me go ahead and switch over my screen here. All right, actually, let me zoom in a bit because I know with yeah. All right, so I'm gonna basically this is the first page you see when you log into when you go onto the website. All I have to do is just simply make an account. I have an account already made. So let me quickly log into that here. Login. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, and once you log into your account, you'll see two options: either to log out or to go to the app. And once you can go to the app, this is sort of the page that is shown to you. And there's a bunch of different options that you can do here, and I'll sort of break it down for you. So one of the options that most of you are going to do is going to go here and just click create a new resume. You can name it whatever you want. Like I can name this YSP 2022 testing. You can see, do you want it to be publicly accessible or just like private for you? And then you create that resume. And each one of these will just get a new just sort of icon for it. It just randomly generates an image. This has nothing to do with resume, by the way. It's just an image that the website makes for you. So this is right here. This is the sort of website. So in the center, you'll just see basically the resume as it is right now. Right now, there's nothing on it. It just has my name that I got from my account. And then over here is a bunch of different options you can do. So you can add in your photo with photo filters, your date of birth. And just everything that you would want to put into a resume is here available for you. You can put in your name, you can put in location, your different profiles like your LinkedIn profile, Instagram, Facebook, like professional portfolio, your experiences, your education, awards, certifications, basically like everything, skills, programming language, publications, any session that you would want, especially for like if you're in high school and you're working with like trying to play like a college like resume, then volunteer experience is definitely a pretty big one because a lot of you guys like a work experience is tough to come by in high school. Um, Besides like part-time jobs, which are definitely good to put on your resume. But volunteer experience is a pretty big one. If you guys want to fill out your resume in high school, then putting up your volunteer experiences, describing a little bit about them, that's a really helpful thing to have. But like side projects that you work on, references, stuff, and then even if all of these sections are not enough for you, you can add a new section with whatever name that you want, and you can rename it to whatever you want, add whatever you want into this, and just everything that you would want for that resume is available on. So let's say I go over here and add a new work experience, uh, testing, and I am the founder of this testing company. I can just add this new work experience here, and it makes a section and it does everything for you. And just to give you guys, that's like a general gist of like the tools, but to give you guys an example of like how it actually ends up showing, this is a sort of a sample resume that I made. I filled out a bunch of information about myself on the resume page, and so this is how like the resume showed up. And then you can actually switch between a bunch of different formats just immediately on the fly. Let's say I like this format, then my resume is now formatted like that. Let's say I like, let's say I like this format. I can make my resume look like this. And basically, you can just, once you add all your information onto the site, you can just switch between a bunch of these different templates and it immediately populates, it immediately formats it with everything that you need. And they're also like pretty nice looking resumes, especially if you take some time to like fiddle around with it, play around with the things, change the length of some of your like of your information, change like the dimensions of it. They can turn out really good looking and really professional looking, and does takes care of all of the formatting work for you, which I know is one of the toughest parts to do with sort of like working with a Word document or anything. Is like getting those perfectly formatted lines, getting those formatted sections. This takes care of all that hassle for you, and it makes it really, really, really easy to use. And not only are there a bunch of different templates, but like you can change everything that you want about the templates. So you can change the layout of the template. Like, do you want to like switch your work experience here and bring your interests over to the side? Do you want to add like new pages? Do you want to change the font? Any one of the Google fonts you can change your fonts to. You can change the color theme. Like, you want to be green. You can add custom CSS if you want, which like if you know something about CSS, is how like websites change their like formatting. You can add custom CSS. You can share. You can get a link to your actual resume on here. You can export it as JSON or PDF, and you can just set themes about like the actual website itself. And it's really, really convenient to use. There's a lot of really great tools there, and there's even more stuff that I'm going to show you right now. So here, not only can you just make a resume from like scratch, you can also import from external sources. So one of the external sources is you can actually import it from like this website itself. So let's say you made a resume on this website and you want to edit it again. You can either like use the same browser to save it in your cookies, or you can upload it from the saved JSON file. This website, most other websites I'm going to show today actually will allow you to export your resume into JSON. So if you want to put in a JSON resume and work on it from here, you can upload it here. Or you can do this. So this is actually a pretty cool thing that you can do. So if you have a LinkedIn account, and let's say you've been like updating your LinkedIn account with some of your work experiences, and you don't want to like transfer everything over to your actual resume manually, what you can do is you can actually go to here on your LinkedIn account. If you're logged in, you can go to the section that says Manage Your Data and Activity, and from here, you can basically just download an archive of all of your data. And once you have this archive of all your data, it'll get all your like your connections, it'll get your like work experiences, it'll get everything that you need, and then you can just upload that zip. This will basically in a few minutes after you click Request New Archive or Download Archive, it'll give you a zip file, and then from that zip file, you just upload it here, and it'll populate most of your resume for you, and then that'll save you a lot of time as well. Especially if you're keeping like your LinkedIn up to date, you can just take your LinkedIn and just auto populate your resume with that, which is pretty convenient. It's really, really easy to use. So yeah, that was sort of one of the first sites that I want to show off. That it has a lot of really cool features, and it looks like really professional as well. And the next website that I want to show off is Resume.io. And Resume.io, a lot of these do like similar things to the first website that I made, but it's just another website that if you like the formatting on this website better, because a lot of all these websites have different templates. So depending on which sort of resume style you would like, you can use the templates from RX Resume. You can use the templates from the resume. You can use the templates from the last website I'm going to show off, and it just depends on like what your personal preference is, what your job preference is. Like, does your whatever like you're applying for like more professional looking resumes, or like more bare bone resumes, or ones that like look really fancy for going to sort of like a creative field or something like that. So the next site that I want to show off is called Resume.io, and basically it does a very similar thing to what that other website does. Let's say we go to Resume.io, and it has this, you can see some of the sample templates from here using sort of Dwight Schrute from The Office, and it basically just it has like less more bare bones format, but that's not always a bad thing. In fact, some like companies actually prefer to use a bare bones format in order to like because sometimes like they like have like text scraping algorithms to, like take information off your resume, and if you have too complicated of a resume, that can actually mess those algorithms up. So it's actually sometimes better to have this sort of bare bones resume. But anyways, here you can import JSON just like all the other websites. You can actually just click make a new resume, choose whatever template you want. Let's say like this template. Just choose whatever template you want, and then do the same thing from the other website. You can add in like your personal information, like your portfolio, your education. Now, what I like about this website is it actually gives you like some like this is not like filled in information, but it gives you some idea of what you can actually put in each section. What university you're doing, your GPA, your start date, end date. You can add your high school as well. You can add like your job titles, your skills, your projects, your awards, all the different sections, and you can even make like new sections if you want. And then once you populate all these sections, you just hit make again, and it'll populate it here. Like let's say, actually my name is John Smith. I'll just fill it out with whatever is already here. And I click make. Then I'll just populate it here. And then as I keep going, as I keep filling out these sections, it'll auto-populate the rest of my resume. And similar to the last one, you can export it as a PDF, LaTeX if you didn't work with LaTeX before, or JSON. And all of these will take it, like let you export to PDF and export to JSON. You can keep like swapping between the tools as well. Let's say you export from JSON to here, you put that JSON into the first RX resume. Take a resume from RX resume and populate it into here and start editing like that. So it's really convenient, and there's a lot of different things you can do with that. And then the final tool that I want to like show off is this website called gotresumebuilder.com. This is just sort of a third website that has a sort of unique approach to it, the way that it like lets you make a resume. So this one, the basic way it breaks it down is basically it lets you make the resume content by giving you like a step-by-step guide on how to write it. Then you can format that resume by selecting a design template and a font, and then download and email that resume in however way you want to. So like they have a bunch of different like sample resumes you can take a look at. Like let's say we can take a look at like someone's resume is like formatted like that, or just different ways of formatting resumes for different jobs. Like based on the job you want, you might want different sections to your job. Like computer science jobs might want their certifications on there, or more creative or UX like artist side jobs might want their like portfolios on there. Medical jobs might want medical or financial or business jobs might want more information about their connections or some more information about their bio publications that they have. So there's a bunch of different things that you can introduce. You look at the samples and see what information do I want to include in my personal resume that would make it stand out and show the most information that I need. And not only can you go here, you can just like Google like medical resume or business resume, or whatever job you're trying to apply for, whatever college you're trying to apply for, whatever like anything you're trying to do. You can just search up that plus resume in Google and find tons of different samples, tons of different ideas you can use for your resume. And what I generally just want to show you is that using these sites, using like a bunch of different sites, using either like the RX Resume, using Resume, using Resume Builder, it's not that it'll give you like not that like give you any experience like on your resume itself, not going to add anything to your resume. But if you have things that you know you want to populate in your resume and you're stuck on how do I sort of make my resume? How do I make it look nice? How do I make it look like the templates and stuff on Google? Then instead of taking like hours and hours, like I know it'll take a long time because I've tried doing it before on like Word to like make pinpoint resumes and make like all the formatting correctly. Instead of going through all that effort, you can just use these websites, use these tools to populate your resumes fast and also have complete control over how they look and make personalized resumes really, really quickly and really efficiently and stay focused on like actually like doing the things that would help you populate a resume rather than focusing all your effort on trying to make your resume look nice. And yeah, that's essentially like let me see if I can actually show you a quick demo of this. Website. So as you can see here, there's a bunch of different sections you can look at here. You can add work experiences, you can format your resume, and you can just basically like edit each section of your resume, and it tells you like what information in your contact information, what do you want to have, in your objectives, like what should you actually include in your objective. You should want like a description of the job you're seeking, only 1 to 2 sentences, have it just like a quick, concise way of showing who you are and what you want to do in this job. He tells you like which sections are the most important. Let me see if I can zoom in like that. Like which sections are the most important, how you should order your resume, making like the furthest, like do you want the most recent jobs first? You can search up jobs like I don't know, like software engineer. And you can search samples of resumes to see like, okay, what did other people who are applying for the same type of job write in their job descriptions? You can see like what did other people write for their sections, and you can do that for almost all of the sections as well. Like you can do, let's say I want to see what did other software engineers write for their objectives. Like what did they like user you can see like different jobs, different any type of job that you want to look at. You can see like intelligent samples of what other people wrote for those, so that you're not just like thrown onto the deep end into like making this resume. You actually have people to look off examples to look at, and you can personalize those to make those your own and show off your own skill sets. But essentially, that's all I wanted to show for today. It's just sort of how can you utilize. Obviously, these 3 aren't the only sites on the internet for making free resumes. There's like countless websites. But I felt like these 3 websites not only had like a really great balance of not having ads, not trying to like force you to pay for some subscription or anything. They were just completely free, completely ad free, just really great, really helpful tools for if you have information that you want to put into a resume, you can just quickly spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour, just put all your information, or even like intelligently populate it like you can do with a JSON or the LinkedIn one on RX Resume, and quickly build resumes that look professional and will get the job done well, and for whatever format you want to look at, whatever type of resume you're trying to apply for. And so that's just about all that I wanted to cover for this like quick like web tips section. A lot of the other web tip sections are going to be just as quick as this, just short 15-20 minutes talking about some useful things you guys can look at. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to like send those in the chat right now. I'll help to answer if you have any questions about the websites we look at or anything else about resumes. We can try answering those in a few minutes. I also want to send in the chat. So some of the past webinars that we did yesterday, I know some people were asking about some information for those. So I was going to send these links here for that. So these are, hold on, that formatted kind of weird. Let's send those again. So basically, I'm going to be sending links for some of the webinars we had yesterday. You can obviously view all the webinars as soon as they're over. Give it a few minutes. You can view them on BigMarker itself, but we're also trying to upload them all onto a YouTube channel. just because in case that's like a website you want to look at, you're more comfortable watching videos and stuff on YouTube, then you can use YouTube as a way to watch these videos. And let me send all these as well. And a lot of I know for the R script lecture that we had yesterday, a lot of people wanted some of the information from that. So here's a bunch of the links to some of the demo data sets that we had, some of the slides, and some of the scripts that we use there as well. But if that's it, and if no one has any sort of questions, then please feel free to like drop off, and we'll end it here for today. And we'll see you guys next week on our second week of the YSP webinars. Thank you guys for coming.